Hey, I'm Kai, and in an attempt to check out some of the most popular pedals and see what people love about them, I've just bought the Boss SD-1. Side note, drop a comment letting me know what you'd like to see a video on next. The current frontrunners are the Wampler Tumnus, the MXR Carbon Copy, and the Marshall Bluesbreaker. Anyway, the Boss SD-1 is a legendary drive pedal that needs no further introduction, but let's go for it. Sort of seen as the sister overdrive to the Ibanez Tube Screamer, you will often see one or the other on a pedal board, but you'll very rarely see both. Now this is actually the first time I have a Boss pedal on this channel, and the first time I've owned one in about 10 years or so. That wasn't an active choice or anything, but rather just random circumstance. The SD-1 is very much cemented in the roots of rock history, being used by pretty much everyone at some point in time. It's a raw, ripping, raucous overdrive pedal that is designed to get more out of your amplifier. The most alluring thing about this one, of course, as with many Boss pedals, is the price. You can currently grab these for about £60 new or £40 used every day of the week. There are 3 knobs. We have level, we have tone, and we have drive. The reputation around this pedal says that it should work in just about any setup from clean to crunch to high gain. I'm actually going to start out on a low gain, crunchy-ish kind of tone because that gives you a good idea of the range of the pedal. So with that, this is the sound of my Crab BE on the BE channel. It's definitely a little bit undergained to what the amp wants to be, but this is a good example of where you may use the SD-1. Now, rather than sweep through the entire range of everything this pedal has to offer, I instead want to dial in a few tones specifically. We'll start out with a nice subtle drive sound with the drive turned down low, the level up high, and then the tone backed off a little bit. You don't really get much level out of this one with the drive down low. In fact, it's got to be completely gunned just to get up to unity. Pushing the SD-1 into mid-gain sort of drive territory happens very, very early on in the sweep of the drive knob. This will take us up nicely into sort of amp-ish distortion territory. It's super bright sounding and it does nicely retain the characteristic of the amp itself. Finally, we'll try out a high gain setting on the pedal and you'll notice that it doesn't sound like amp gain anymore once we start to push this one up. It gets almost into fuzzy sort of territory. I personally think that sounds really nice and it's actually quite a unique sound. That might just be because not that many people are using the SD-1 at high gain settings in low tunings. As for my overall thoughts running it through this channel, I wish there was more output available, and I also wish the tone control had a bit of a better sweep to it. I found myself nearly gunning the output pretty much every time I use this, almost regardless of gain settings. Also, the drive isn't super tight in and of itself, but maybe that will change when we start to boost a high gain amp. Now, while this video isn't a sponsored video, I do want to quickly give a mention to my Thomann affiliate link. If you would like to purchase this pedal or pretty much anything else on Thomann for that matter, please do consider using my affiliate link as it gives me a nice little bit of kickback without costing you a thing. Something that I'm pretty interested in, and part of the main reason why I bought the SD-1, is seeing how it fares into the front end of a high gain amp. Now, I know this is a pretty common thing in the world of thrash especially, but in the modern metal world that I'm used to, most people typically tend to go for the Tube Screamer instead. Let's hear the tone that I've got running for this and then we'll get to boosting it. I would say that that's a pretty good, usable sounding high gain tone right off the bat, but it is pretty loose and it doesn't have a lot of that tightness under the hand that you may need. We could do with cutting the low end bloom and giving just a little bit of extra saturation. Now for a boost setting on the SD-1, we're going to have the drive all the way down, the level all the way up, and then the tone to taste. Since this is a pretty scratchy sounding boost, it sounds really good in low tunings, but let's try out something even lower. I'm going to switch out to my Balaguer Mitch Stark, which is currently tuned down to drop F sharp. Now this guitar does have P90 pickups, so it is going to be a little bit noisier. Considering this is a 40-plus-year-old circuit, it's holding up really well in this super low tuning. Now an overdrive like this is also a good one to use when you're stacking multiple pedals together, which is why I've set up the Proco Rat on my desk. This is a pretty classic pairing. The Rat is a distortion, borderline fuzz kind of thing, and the SD-1 should be able to tighten it up quite nicely. Again, it's just a touch bright and perhaps a little bit shrill, but I think it's working quite nicely. I'm going to do one more riff on a slightly tweaked version of these settings so that you can really hear the tightening that the SD-1 is doing to the Rat. It's actually closer to a usable metal drive sound than I'd imagined I was going to get out of this pairing. Now the SD-1 has absolutely earned its reputation as one of the most popular overdrive pedals of all time. It's sort of hard to go wrong with a pedal like this, especially if you're just trying to figure out what you're into. You go out, you buy a pedal that says overdrive on it, and it just does the overdrive thing you want it to do. I wouldn't say it's one of my favourite overdrive pedals, especially considering that when you start turning up the drive, it gets really woolly and really hairy sounding. This pedal to me really sounds the best when you have the drive before the halfway point and the tone knob up somewhere around the center. I can't see a reason why you would want to have the level below noon or so. Any lower than that and it just completely drops off your volume. As for my favorite tones with this, I think I really enjoyed it running through the crunch channel and taking it up from a crunch into a full distortion. I do want to try it out with some other setups in the future though and see what other things I can pair it with. Let me know if there is anything else you would like to see me run it through. Thanks for sticking around for the end of this video, I appreciate it a lot. That is all I've got for this video, so until next time, I've been Kai.